In our lifetime, no, but then that's not a don't take that as a massive negative, because, well, essentially the world's not going to do anything in our lifetime to a negative issue isn't going to stop at all in our lifetime. For example, you're never going to see the end of rape in our lifetime. You're never going to see the end of burglary in our lifetime. You're never going to have the end of humans killing each other in our lifetime. So of course we're not going to have a completely vegan world in our lifetime.
Right.
But in our lifetime, yes, the world will gradually get more and more vegan. In the UK, I think veganism has risen, I think, 300 and something % in the last decade. That's only going to keep, climbing and climbing. And I think one day, just as there is now the end to the oppression of humans via certain means, for example, in Europe, women not being able to vote and stuff like that. Of course, animals will have their freedom from oppression one day. There'll always be people killing animals, as there are always humans killing other humans.
Right.
But one day, there will be an end to the wholesale exploitation of animals. Yeah, injustice can't last forever.
Like the industries themselves. The way I imagine it is that it would become more of a black market thing, where it would be like it might transition. It might become like, we have the no smoking section in a restaurant. It'd be like the meat eating section, which would just be a small section, and people will be disgusted by that section. And then there'll also be it probably will evolve to the point where it's a black market thing and it's not legally sold anywhere.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. As we say, like, the idea of literally animals just never being killed and eaten is obviously, that's a utopia. The world doesn't work that way. There's always going to be people doing bad stuff, no matter what it is. It's not just to do with animals. But yes, no, there will be a day where, as you say, meat is more of a sort of, as we were saying about the drug we were talking about earlier, it might be something you even get off a dealer or something like that down a dark alley. I don't know. But the point is, one day, the idea that we have these buildings that are literally set up to stab animals, we actually have these bits of machinery that grind up chicks, and we have these concentration camp trucks designed specifically to carry a group of beings to their execution. These will all just be sick historical ornaments one day, and we'll be walking, the children of the future will be walking through abandoned slaughterhouses. There will be an eeriness as they walk through, and they'll be talked to about that, the same as people going on trips to Auschwitz and Birkenau are now. There'll be historical relics, and I would love to see the day when that happens.
Me too, man. Imagine if it happens in our lifetime. That would be insane, because you do have survivors of the Holocaust that walk through these museums today, and they're like, yes, that existed, yes, that really happened, and they confirm things and they do speeches. So I would like to see that in our lifetime, but I think because of the environmental destruction that's occurring, it may not.
That's a great point you make, actually, because it's all well and good with the ethics and stuff is doing well as it is. A lot of people are waking up and stuff. But the point is, I think one day we're going to have no choice but to have veganism as the only way, because of what it's doing to the planet. It's going to be the only alternative. There will have to just come a day, if it carries on what we're doing now. We could see fishless oceans in our lifetime.
Yeah, right.
If it carries on the way it is. We could have no Amazon in our lifetime if it carries on the way it is. One day, I think the UN or whoever are just going to have to put their foot down and say, this ends now. Yeah, we have to just phase out the idea of animal agriculture. We have all the stuff available. We'd be using fewer resources than we are now. We'd be using fewer crops to feed people. We'd have more water available. If we want to even make the planet a hospitable place to live, it's just an absolute necessity that the world has to go vegan. It just has to end, animal agriculture.
Yeah, I hope that we have enough sanity left in our tanks that does happen.
Yeah, I mean, the power of industry is such that even they could mask things and there could be corporate entities at work within the government and stuff. You never know that could prevent veganism from happening one day, but we just have to hope that humanity, fingers crossed, not a species that I have a lot of that I'm most optimistic about, but we have to have hope that humanity will wake up one day and we'll just decide that if we ever want to live in this planet peacefully, if our grandchildren even want to survive on it, we have to go vegan.
Yeah, the way I find peace of mind in all of this question, this issue, is I just focus on doing what I can, and I try not to wear all of the burden, but wear as much as I can handle and to do as much as I can, and to try and improve as much as I can on the effectiveness, and then that's really all that I can do. So
yeah, you're doing a great job. A lot of vegans out there are doing some fantastic work, and as I said earlier, I have great things to say about the vegan movement. It is working. We are controlling the demand for products from what we purchase. We are waking people up. It's just the fact that people are being resistant to it because of their addictions. But remember, slowly and surely, oppressions do end. It does take time. People are hated and seen as outsiders simply for speaking the truth and standing up for the oppressed. But to give an example, it took 400 years to convince white people that they didn't own black people. That's a pretty long time for an oppression to be happening, and people just not even think it was just a normal thing for white people to own a black person back in the days that was happening. It's scary to think about, and how ingrained that was in our society. It's now ingrained in our society that animals are our slaves, and animals are here to do stuff for us. But one day, a day will come where we decide enough is enough, and the people who are speaking up for the David over the Goliath, those are the ones who are seen as ethical. They will look back on us who are considered weirdos now, and they'll think these were the people that sparked this. The vegans now, we make up probably 0.something% of the world, but every freedom that we enjoy today started because a tiny minority of people just said enough, and that's what we have to focus on.